here on the Delta, it's been another week of fronts coming in and out. The weather is changing, winter is coming on, but the fishing has not been all bad. Stripers have been on a little hiatus, but the largemouth bass have been active. We're going to get into a full report, but before we do, we're going to take a look at a few of the pictures that come in. Then we'll tell you guys what's been going on throughout the entire week. We'll get you all caught up on what to do next week. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You are watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly report for November 6th. You may notice that we changed locations. The wind out at Paradise Point was just too much. It was fouling with the audio, and that's never good when you're doing a report. So we're back here at In Deep Central, my house, and we will finish up this report. We'll give you all the information that you need. So with that, knowing what the weather's doing, we're going to have winds that may be up to 40, 50 miles an hour according to the Weather Service. It's supposed to dump some rain. It's going to be a reset week. I have a feeling that a lot of anglers may have a couple days to stay home and not be out on the water. It's probably a good idea. So the first thing I want to do is briefly go over some of the local YouTube guys that you may not be aware of, so that if you're not aware of them, I want you to check these guys out. They've all got great information, great videos, and you may have the next couple days to take a little bit of time to check these guys out. First thing we're going to talk, or the first guy we're going to talk about, is Rio out at Hook Setters, and Rio spells his YouTube channel HOOKSETTERZ, Hook Setters. Check out Rio, local information. I know he's got his latest video is an offshore punching video, punching and flipping. He catches a big bag of bass out here. Check it out. You may get some ideas for you to go out and catch a few fish. So check out Rio at Hook Setters. Most of you guys know Keith from Free Spooling. Keith is a kayak guy, fishes mostly the South Delta. Keith also does a lot of local lakes. Make sure you are keeping up with Free Spooling. Keith is a great guy, and he gives you a lot of good information. Joe out at Core Fishing generally does a lot of stripers. He talks about close to Stockton, generally goes out of Ladd's, Paradise Point, that area, fishes between Ladd's and Prisoner's Point, maybe a little bit out at Frank's Track. Really good striper videos. Joe also does some largemouth bass stuff, but that is Joe out at Core Fishing. All you guys know Bearded Bassin. Caleb generally does the Wednesday nighters when off season. Caleb is still on the Delta. I think his last video was out at Don Pedro. I know a lot of you guys fish Don Pedro, so check out Bearded Bassin. Check out his last video, especially out at Don Pedro. A lot of you guys will be going up there during the winter months when the Delta gets dried up a little bit. Here's one you may not have heard of. It's Soaking It In. MJ has a YouTube channel, and he spells that SOAKITN. He's out here mostly for stripers, does a lot of bait fishing out here. I know he's got some good stuff on Tomales Bay and around some of the lakes. He also does a lot of bank fishing, so check out MJ at Soaking It In. Maybe last but not least, Kenny Vang, and I believe Kenny's YouTube channel is Kenny's Busy Fishing. Primarily fishes from the bank. He does a little bit of kayak fishing, but Kenny and his brother always out there giving good information for you guys that may be bank bound without a boat. Kenny is Busy Fishing. Check out his YouTube channel. So with that, let's get right into business. We'll go over a little bit of Clear Lake, a little bit of Don Pedro, talk about stripers, then we'll get into the largemouth bass. I talked to Dave out at Clear Lake Outdoors, and the fishing is fair to good. Dave said that the pressure is extremely light. He only knows of one tournament coming up in the next month. So if you want to get out on Clear Lake and have some fun, now without a bunch of bass guys running around tournament fishing, this is a good month to be out there. Still catching a lot of fish. They're not getting the big ones. Occasional big ones coming in, but most guys are going out catching good numbers of fish between 1 and 3 pounds. You can run the banks. You can throw LV 500s, deep diving crankbaits. You're going to catch plenty of fish. And now is just a good time to be on the lake. He said that the storm coming in that we're seeing right here doesn't look like it's going to change the fishing. Obviously, you're going to want to call before you go up there anytime during the winter months, and you can call Clear Lake Outdoors. Dave will give you up-to-date information at 707-262-5852. So let's move along to Don Pedro, and I was in contact with Aaron from out at Central Valley Bait and Tackle. He was up there up at fishing Don Pedro, had a really good day. Him and his partner were out in a boat that had forward-facing sonar, and that was a big key. He's saying that a lot of the fish are starting to move offshore. Aaron and his partner caught most of their fish vertical jigging out in about 50 feet of water. He did say that there were some boils. Sometimes the fish will chase the shad right up to the top, and if you have a top water on and ready to go fishing, the boils can be productive. Aaron's advice, if you go up there, you're not real familiar with the lake, stay off the big body of the lake. Start looking for coves, start in 10 or 15 feet of water and work your way out to about 50 or 60 feet of water. The fish can be anywhere right now. There are still fish and anglers that are running the bank that are catching fish with crankbaits, jerk baits, bait fish imitations, but the transition is starting to happen. Some of these fish are moving offshore. I will give you Aaron's number out at Central Valley Bait and Tackle. Give Aaron a call for up-to-date information, and that's for Don Pedro or the surrounding lakes down in that area. Let's jump right into the Delta, and we'll start with river conditions. They're looking good as of right now. Still about 65-degree water temps. Visibility is 5 or 6 feet. With this rain that we're supposed to get, and it's supposed to dump, I hope it doesn't start until I get done with the video here or the report, but it's supposed to dump. If it does, that's going to wash some cloudy water down into the river. It will also start to flood the islands, and when that happens, the fellows that manage the islands, they start pumping water from the islands into the Delta, which is generally clouded. If we get this wind like they're predicting, that's also going to change the clarity of the water. So let's jump right into the stripers, and I'll start off by telling you that the Central Delta has been slow. There are fish trickling in. A lot of the fish are small. When I talk about Central Delta, I'm talking about from Lads out to Prisoner's Point, Old River, Middle River, up to maybe out to Frank's Track, and up to maybe Terminus. There's fish in the system. They're just not schooled up like they should be. They're late, and I have some late breaking information that I need to give you that is really positive and upbeat for all you guys that are worried about the stripers. That's going to come in a minute. But right now the Central Delta has been, I'm going to say, at best fair to good, but probably mostly fair to not so fair. I don't know if that makes sense. What that means to me is most people that are going out are struggling to get 1 or 2 decent fish. There are days when you can get out there and find the right spot at the right time, and you can do okay. But most of the fish that us bait chuckers are catching are smaller fish, 15 to 16, 17 inches. There are some schoolie fish that are keeper size 18 to 20, 22 inches, but they're just not in the numbers that we were looking for. Most guys are going out and just struggle to put 1 or 2 fish in the boat per rod. Here's the good news. Just talked to Jeff Suhu from Suhu Sport Fishing this morning. I didn't talk to Jeff last week, and that is my mistake, because in the last few weeks, Jeff has been on a heater. He has been into the fish, and he has been getting lots of fish. He has been getting a good quality size of fish. All of these fish are farther out west than most of us generally fish. He's fishing Pittsburgh, Antioch, and beyond, Grizzly Island, Honker Bay, Sassoon Bay. That's where the bulk of the fish are right now. They've been out there for a while, and for some reason they just have not moved in. And I asked Jeff, what's the deal? He is a full-time striper guide. He's been out here for a long time. He knows what's going on. His answer was simple. They're just late. He said, for all the guys that are worried about what's going on out in the Delta right now because there's not a bunch of fish in there, they will be coming in. Hopefully this storm will bring them in. I've been saying that for the last month. It hasn't happened. Jeff feels pretty darn comfortable that all of these fish that he's catching, we're going to say almost, in between the Antioch and the Bay, they're coming this way. They will be here. With that being said, Jeff feels like the fishing out there is going to hold off. He's been catching all of his fish on mudsuckers, and this is coming from me. If you want to go out right now and you're thinking about hiring a guide, I would say give Jeff a call. The next couple weeks should be on fire. He'll let you know if this storm does anything different than what that's going to affect his fishing out there. But give Jeff a call. He's running a 6-pack boat. So you get a couple of friends, you go out on Jeff's boat. I guarantee it, you're going to get into fish. You're going to catch some good numbers of fish. You are going to have some excellent fishing. Jeff is super excited about what's going out there, and it takes a lot to get Jeff excited. So if you want to get a hold of Jeff, call him out at 925-899-4045. That's Suhu Sport Fishing, 925-899-4045. I'll also throw in a bone for Joey Price out at Priceless Fishing. He has also been doing a lot of multi-species trips, and he's kind of confirming that bite, and he's pushing his limits on how far he will go west out in his bass boat from Disco Bay and where he's leaving Frank's Track a lot of times. But he's getting fish out there. He confirms that there is a good size of fish. They are taking plugs, and he's having very good luck out there also. So I'm going to leave it with that. Let's just hope these fish come in, and maybe next week, the week after, I can tell you guys about what's going on here in the Central Delta in an area that we can come out and kind of get to in our bass boats and smaller aluminum boats. That brings us to the largemouth bass, and it has been good to fair, and I'm saying good on most days, fair on some days. It is wintertime conditions, and it's not summer conditions, so take that with a grain of salt. Everyone seems to be catching fish. There's a lot of good fish coming in that 6-7 pound range, but it's like one per outing for a lot of guys, and they're not guaranteed. You are guaranteed to go out there and catch a lot of small fish with a lot of keepers in the mix, and there's still a lot of those 3.5 pound fish out there. So it's a lot of fun. Pressure is light. Everything is looking good for hopefully that this bass fishing will hold hopefully for another couple weeks. Now's the time to get out there and get your last fishing in. Here are the general situations that I've seen and the people that have been reporting. Number one, everybody's catching fish, catching a lot of dinks, catching a good number of keeper size fish from 12 to 14, 15 inches. And again, those 3 and 4 pounders are still out there. A lot of jerkbait fishing, flukes, a lot of chatterbaits. The tide that you want to fish is the low incoming tide. That has been when everybody that has done well is fishing. Low incoming tide. I have concentrated a little bit this week on moving water, especially the inlets and outlets to the flooded islands, and I have found a concentration of fish, both stripers and largemouth bass, in that moving water. They're schooled up together. They're not big fish, but you can go out and have a good time with a jerkbait, and in between the 14, 15-inch stripers and the 10 to 12-inch largemouth, you're going to get some nice fish. You got to work for them. There's no rhyme or reason. You just got to be out there and work them. Go from inlet to inlet to inlet. You'll find concentrations of fish. Now, as this last storm came in, I was out yesterday. That was Tuesday. I'm doing the report Wednesday morning. The fish seem to have pulled in tight to Tule banks. I had 2 or 3 reports of guys that have been out in the last day or so, and they've said the same thing. Pitching into the Tules and getting up in that 1 to 2 feet of water, that has produced some really decent fishing for me. I've got some. I think I was out Tuesday. I had about a 15-pound bag. My big fish came on a jerk bait. That was about 4 pounds. Not the one that you saw in the intro. This was a different fish. And most everything else I got flipping a bronco bug into about a foot of water at the base of Thule's. If you're out there and you're throwing jerk baits, I know everybody's been trying to imitate the shad, and this week I have found that switching color to I'm using a Stunna, the one that has the kind of a gold finish on it. That seems to be producing more fish, and it's actually been producing the bigger fish for me. So if you're still out there throwing a jerkbait, maybe change the color a little bit, try to put a little gold in it. Maybe the feel-good story of the week is Rob Cloutier from the Bass Hole, and I should have said this at the beginning of the report. Rob went out, and I might have my days messed up. I think it was Saturday. He went out. He picked up a double-digit fish. Sent me a picture. Man, I was happy for Rob. It's hard to get those big fish out here. He got a double-digit. Monday comes along, he sends me another picture, says he's got another one. 2 double digits, back-to-back days. First one I was real happy for him. The second one I congratulate him, but it kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. I haven't picked up a double digit all year. They're not easy to come by, and I want one of those things so bad I can taste it. I'm not going to wash this jacket until I get a 10-pounder, and this jacket is starting to reek. My wife told me that the other day. I want one of those. I know you guys want them. Seeing Rob catch 2 in a row, maybe it'll give us some inspiration to go out there and keep up the good fight, and sooner or later we're going to get that big fish. So with that, it's not looking bad, I'll tell you. Let's see what this storm does, and I'll get all the information compiled for next week, and hopefully if we get another little stint of good weather, we're going to have a couple weeks of really good late fall, early winter fishing before water temperatures start getting down into the 50s and everything goes to hell in a handbasket, at least for largemouth. Stripers are going to be good for a while. Remember, Jeff said they're late. I'm going to take Jeff's word. I believe the stripers will be late, and as soon as the largemouth start to taper off, we're going to have some good striper fishing out here. Thanks for watching. If you're brave enough to go out in this storm, send me a report. Cooper, SCOOPER 9561032 @gmail.com. I appreciate you guys that are watching. I appreciate you guys that are sending in reports. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you guys on the river. Good luck and be safe.